All right. Welcome in H-Town. You are now tuned in to The Solid Grip, coming to you live at 5. No time for jive. I'm your host, J.R. Wilson. Today I'm doing the show solo. My old man is out of town, so traveling grace and mercy to him. But look, man, there's some things we need to talk about concerning DeShaun Watson. Y'all see what's right there in the title. Y'all see what's at the bottom of the page. Like, subscribe, comment, share this thing with your people, with your partners, with your friends. Look, we got a lot to talk about, and we going to do that right after this here.
Audio Jungle.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy J.R. Wilson from The Solid Grip, coming to you live at 5. No time for jive. Look, it's just me today. My old man went out of town. His wife had a death in her family, so they had to skip town to New Orleans, and so he'll be back. Condolences to the family for the loss. Any loss is tough. So, hey, Pop, safe travels, man. Anyways, we're going to get straight off into this thing. So, look, 4 more women have filed lawsuits against DeShaun Watson, which now has a totality of 20 women. So 20 women have filed a lawsuit against DeShaun Watson. Now, some of the things that come to my mind is, first, I want to say that, look, I know these things happen to women. Okay, they're very personal. A lot of women do not want to come out and talk about these things, and they're heinous acts that men commit to the lawyers. That's why you have deposition, litigation. That's why you have sleuths who look into things and really deconstruct things and put them in and examine them, put them back together. A wise man once told me to shake the tree. When you shake the tree, then break the branches off. When you break off the branches, break off the twigs. And when you break off the twigs, then peel each and every leaf off and examine all of it. Okay? And I think that that's what has to be done in this particular case, because the first thought that comes to my mind when I see 4 more women are added, and there's supposed to be a lot more on the way, according to Tony Busby, that how many women was he getting to massage him? It seems a bit absurd, right? I know they have COVID restrictions with the NFL, but it seems a little over the top that you have this many women that you've actually set up to get a massage for. Now, here's an interesting factoid. Rusty Harden, who's actually DeShaun Watson's representation in this case, has not stated that any one of these women set up with DeShaun Watson to even have a massage. So you got a whole can of worms right there to deal with. Is this a situation where DeShaun Watson DM'd these girls on Instagram, had them come through, and he just simply smashed? I think that this is what's really going on. There was one story that we read of where there was a woman and her mother. Her mother helped set her up for the massage. And it's not uncommon. I heard Seth Payne, who's an analyst for Sports Radio 610, say that it's not uncommon as an NFL player. He played in the NFL. It's not uncommon for them to meet in hotels or office buildings to get massages. But I find it highly suspect that no one ever saw, no one ever suspected, no one has any type of viable evidence, any video of anything that's admissible. And maybe they do and just not have come out with it yet. But on a surface level, somebody could say, well, you trying to take up for men. That's not true at all. I said before in previous shows, if DeShaun Watson did this to these women, he need to go to jail. I mean, that's just the bottom line. He needs to go to jail. He needs to be locked up. He needs to be taught a lesson. We don't want men like that out on the streets. But the fact of the matter is that we really don't know what's going on, right? Nobody knows. All we know is that there are women who have alleged that DeShaun has done some type of inappropriate act with them, whether it be sexual or, had implications of such. But at this point, we don't really know. All we hear is these women are coming out. I don't like it. I do not like the fact that, first of all, and look, I'm very apprehensive about talking about these kind of things because I have a very, very, very strong take and attitude towards it. But as you look at me, I'm a black man, and I'm gonna be careful with my words right here. But I'm a black man, and I love all people. I don't want to say nothing like I don't see color. That's foolish. I mean, like Trevor Noah told Tommy Lawrence, she was like, I don't see color. He said, yeah, you do. Otherwise, you'd be out here running every red light that you come up to, right? That's foolish. I definitely see color. I definitely know there's a difference between a black person, a white person, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, Asian, right? There's separate. Now, I won't go off into my, my contention on how it should be. Rather, you have to understand for black people, especially in America, it's just not fair. It really isn't. So I start there. That doesn't mean that black people don't do heinous crimes like this one here. But I think it's unfortunate the way this is being framed. And I think it's unfortunate that it's a young black man who's risen to stardom in the NFL and has a lot, I think still has a lot to look forward to, whose name has been forever tainted and tarnished and corrupted. I mean, he's had a clean record. I mean, y'all go back and check this man's record. I don't care about what you've heard about, oh, there might have been some suspicious things that he did in high school. Oh, he has a little video with Mia Khalifa. It's not a sexual video. He's playing her in basketball, and people could say, the implications there. Oh, well, Mia Khalifa was a porn star. So obviously he's there with her. You don't know if you don't know. And let me just be clear, first of all, I do not watch pornography, but I know who Mia Khalifa is. How do I know who she is? Because she's a huge sports fan. She's a huge sports fan. Just like I know, what's the other porn star's name? Annalisa, something like that. I think it's Annalisa. Lisa Ann, right? I don't know her because I watched her videos. I know her because she's a sports fan. But when people talk about her, they're like, oh, she was, she's a porn star. Okay. I mean, that's their business. I don't, that ain't my thing. But that's how I know about her. But she loves sports. And maybe something did happen that day he was with her. Who knows? Nobody knows that. But that's not really what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that check this man's record. Check his background. Check to see what kind of individual he is. Because that's what they do. When you go to court, I'm a felon. I know what it's like to be in the system, to go through the system, to be labeled. That's how it is. Once you get in the system, that's how you're labeled. And being a black man in the system, I'm just telling you, it's the truth. It's not it's not an inferior complex or anything like that. It's just what it is. It's what it is. Some people don't like to deal with that, and I think that's part of the problem. You know what? I'm gonna reverse here in a second, but I'm gonna take the time to say this really quick. The reason why race is still prevalent in America is because America's never dealt with slavery. We dealt with Hiroshima dropping the bombs. We dealt with all the Hispanic people coming over the border, right? Many of those other nations or races of people have received reparations. And I'm not talking about reparations per se. I'm saying it was talked about. Think about it. Every month you see something about the bomb being dropped on Hiroshima. They never really dealt with slavery, and then everybody wants it to be gone with. Oh, y'all just forget about that. That was in the past. You know what? People would if you dealt with it. That's how you deal with problems. You deal with them head on. You don't just, whitewash everything and say, oh, it's okay. So that was my little rant. I'm going to reverse and I'm going to come back because I digress. This is an unfortunate situation for him, and I want to reiterate, if he did this, he needs to go to jail. I do not condone this type of behavior. But I just don't see it that way. I don't see the merit. And anyone who seeks to challenge me, I beseech you, get down in the comments. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know how you feel about this. I can reason. If something is said that makes sense, if something is said that has merit, if something is says that's viable, I can reason with it. But you have to include the facts. That I also included the facts about women. A lot of times they don't come out about these things. Of course, I find it extremely suspect when you have 20 plus women who filed a lawsuit against DeShaun Watson and not one of them have not only gone to the police, but none of them have been instructed anonymously to go to the police. None of them. So, okay, if you create a case, right, if you create a package and give it to the police, they still have to see whether or not this can be admitted, and they have a case on their hands. So do those women not have to testify against him? I don't understand the logic is what I'm saying. I'm saying let's talk about the logic behind all of this. Could I make a conspiracy theory and say that Cal McNair is behind this? I could. I could make that assertion. But would that be accurate? No, it wouldn't be accurate. I don't think it would entirely be unfair, but I would deem it unfair for the simple fact that I simply do not know. I would just be having an opinion on that. And I would opine on it and say that I'm opining on this particular thing at that particular time. But I'm talking about what we do know. What we do know is there are 20 lawsuits against DeShaun Watson. We know that. What we do know is they're all women. What we do know is Tony Busby is representing them. What we do know is Tony Busby is all about publicity. What we do know is they tried to have a six-figure settlement before this even came here. What we do know is if it was a real thing, right? There's a waiver, a disclosure that's signed so information does not get out. If the man did that, if DeShaun did that, why would he have not signed the disclosure and paid the money before this even came out? Please look at the facts, people. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm saying I don't see the guilt yet, except for this one part. As a 25-year-old black man who grew up in the projects and now is a millionaire, he forgot that he was black. You cannot conduct yourself the way you've been conducting yourself, young brother. You can't be out there getting massages or meeting chicks up at different hotels and office buildings. You can't do that. You put yourself in a bad position. That's what DeShaun Watson is guilty at. Think about LeBron James. People hate that man and love him at the same time. But he ain't never gotten no mess. You know why? Because he has one woman. He got a wife. He been with her since high school. He has children. He's in the community. He do all the things DeShaun Watson does, but he sticks to that one woman. And she's in everything that he does. And that's why he keeps his nose clean. You have to keep your nose clean because the cost of being a public figure is if you do one thing, right, that's outside of what people gauge as the normality, they're going to blast you, especially with social media as prevalent as it is today. So that's what he's guilty at. You shouldn't have broken COVID protocols by even flying the girl in here. What you thinking about? Even if you flying her in here, right, to have sexual relations with her, that's foolish. You got a girlfriend, unless y'all broke up, right? And I don't understand your logic, your thinking, DeShaun Watson, on that. But hopefully with all this, he learns that particular lesson. That is what I'm hoping comes from this situation, because his name is tarnished already. There's nothing, even if he decides to fight this to the end to prove that he's innocent, it don't matter. Some people are always going to be like, nope, he did it. He did it. Ain't no way he didn't do it. Rusty Harden just got him off. That moves on to the next thing that I want to bring up. Should DeShaun Watson concede or not? What do I mean? What do I mean by that is, should he concede as far as should he come out just like the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger, did in 2010, and come out and apologize, cry, say that he was irresponsible, etc. Because what's going to happen when he does that is, I don't care what anyone says, it's an admittance of guilt. It is. But if he wants to save his career, I'm not suggesting this, but if he wants to save his career, I in particular think that he has to concede. Because if he doesn't, if he fights until the end, the bottom line is it does not matter whether you concede or not, your name is still tarnished. You might feel better inside because, okay, I cleared my name. But no, you didn't, young brother. You didn't clear your name. You have to take it on the chin that you irresponsibly meandered with these women logistically the way that you did, which brought about this outcome. You have to deal with that. And this is what happened. What's going on with DeShaun Watson was birthed from his irresponsibility. Because if he wasn't irresponsible in that manner, no one would have a case for anything at this point, unless he has a true fetish. And that will come out regardless. Is he still going to play football? I think he is. I can name a litany of players who, even one went to jail. Michael Vick, right, in particular, who's also a black quarterback, went to jail for dog fighting. Came out, still was successful in the league. Now he's a sports analyst. Nobody even thinks about him and dogs anymore, right? Now he might walk down the street in his neighborhood and maybe try to pet somebody's dog, and they might be apprehensive, but I'd be apprehensive if anybody trying to touch my dog, you know? So I don't care if it's Michael Vick or nothing. Don't touch my dog, COVID. You hear me? But that, yes, he's still going to play ball. So should he concede? I would like anyone, if you dare so, get off in the comments. Let me know if DeShaun Watson should come out and apologize and settle this. I think if he wants to keep his career, if he wants to keep his assets, his endorsements, he has to do that. Even if he's completely and 100% innocent, he has to do it. Because he's going to have to do it if he's guilty. So nothing has changed. He's in a fix, and it ain't nothing he can do about it rather than settle. Tony Busby knew when he took this case, it was winnable. Because you don't think Tony Busby knew DeShaun Watson is a millionaire and he can easily get one of the best lawyers in America? And he did in Rusty Hardin. Tony Busby doesn't care about that. He knows that he going to be able to get what he want out of this situation because it's their word against his word. That's all I had to say today. This show today was meant to be short and sweet because it's just me talking. I'm not interacting with my father. But I want y'all to get down in them comments and let it fly. You hear me? Get down in there. Let's talk. Let's chat. Because I'm going to get in there with, as soon as I see you down in there, the spirit finger's coming alive. You hear me? I'm down there. So this is what I want y'all to do before y'all leave this here. Anyone who watched this, I appreciate you. I'm grateful. You hear me? Yeah. That's my son. Bag on up, my boy. Bag up. You hear me? I want y'all to subscribe to this channel, The Solid Grip. Yes. And be tuned in every Friday at 8 o'clock. We trying to, we on CP time. You know what CP time is if you're black. And I'll just tell you, I'll just reveal it. CP is color people time. Okay, it's black people time. So we might not always be on time, but we do our best. But I am a husband with 3 children. He is a grandfather and father, and he got his own thing going, and we do our best. But, man, y'all stick with us every Friday. The more we grow, the better at it we'll get. The more we'll be punctual, that's for sure, man. So for me, J.R. Wilson, this is The Solid Grip. Grace and peace to all y'all, man. See you on Friday at 8 o'clock. Be there, be square. You hear me?
Audio Jungle.